Rafael Marquez, Israel Vazquez. They are the two best 122-pound fighters in the world. Their fight lived up to, then exceeded expectations.
Fight breaks out right away. Tremendous give and take.
It was savage.
They continue to trade vicious punches.
It was brutal.
And they trade, going toe-to-toe in the center of the ring.
And it ended abruptly. And for some, inconclusively.
What's happening? It's over. Vazquez says no more. Wow.
That fight approached greatness. Will this one define it? Marquez versus Vazquez 2 on America's Fight Night.
Are flying, firing bombs. Big action here. What a heavy right hand. It's all over. We've got a new champion.
The tiny border town of Hidalgo, Texas is just a stone's throw away from the boxing crazy country of Mexico. Tonight, the rabid fans of this community will be treated to one of the most significant rematches in the history of the super bantamweight division.
And yes, it's a hot ticket on a hot night in Hidalgo. The crowd here at the Dodge Arena is brimming with excitement and anticipation. It's fight night in South Texas. In our main event, Rafael Marquez is set to battle again with Israel Vazquez for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Hello again, everybody. Steve Albert from Hidalgo, Texas. When the first Rafael Marquez-Israel Vazquez fight was made, boxing fans and insiders alike instantly labeled it a candidate for Fight of the Year. And why not? Marquez and Vazquez were both action fighters and champions at the top of their respective games. Sure enough, the Mexican rivals were in the midst of a memorable shootout when their bout was stopped because of a nose injury that hampered Vazquez's breathing. A rematch made perfect sense, and here we are. Call it round 8 of a classic rivalry in the making. And with that, let me bring on my ringside partner, Al Bernstein. And Al, you've got to be anxious for a conclusion by stoppage of the scorecards instead of on the stool.
You know, let's make no mistake. Rafael Marquez certainly deserved to win their first fight. After all, it was his fist that caused the physical issues for Israel Vazquez, and he was ahead on the scorecards as well. Because this fight was stopped because of a specific injury and because the power that Vazquez had shown earlier in the fight maybe could reemerge, well, it whetted our appetite certainly for a rematch. But, oh, and there's one other thing. It was a great fight, so we want to see the great fight again, but hopefully with more definitive resolution this time.
All right, Al, well, 5 months ago, they started throwing at the opening bell, and the intensity grew as the fight progressed through 7 exhausting and punishing rounds. Tonight in the sequel, two-time world champion Israel Vazquez looks to reclaim the title while avenging his loss. Jim Gray visited with the challenger in his dressing room earlier this evening.
We will attempt to do this interview in English. Israel has agreed to try and answer in English. If he can't, Felix de Jesus is here to interpret. Let me ask you about your nose. You had surgery 4 months ago. That's what caused you to have to stop in your last fight against Rafael. Is your nose ready, and are you concerned about it tonight?
I feel good. I feel ready for this fight.
Your former trainer, Freddie Roach, amongst others, have said it's too soon. You need more time. This is dangerous. Do you believe what he's had to say? What has caused you to go ahead and fight?
Pienso que esta noche realmente no puede respirar, pero esta noche va a ser diferente.
Yeah, last fight he could not breathe because of the fractured nose, but that he's going to be ready tonight.
Many people believe in that fight that you quit. Did you quit?
No, I don't think so. I demonstrate this night.
Is this a chance for you for redemption, a chance to make up for what happened 5 months ago?
No, creo que gracias a la oportunidad que nos están dando la vamos a aprovechar.
He's thankful for the opportunity he's getting tonight, and they're going to take advantage of it.
Are you concerned at all about getting a punch to your nose and not being able to breathe again?
No me va a tocar. He don't touch me.
He says that he won't get touched today.
Israel, best of luck. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Well, despite his problems, Vazquez continued to trade vicious punches with Marquez, even dropped him in the third. That's impressive, Al.
You know, I thought it was interesting that both fighters told us before this fight that they were each surprised at the power the other man demonstrated. Make no mistake, the very reason there's a rematch is the fact that Vazquez was able to knock Marquez down in that third round, because that's what has created a lot of the doubt that at least makes us feel, and I think rightfully so, we could be in for a great fight in this rematch.
All right, Rafael Marquez is living the dream, escaping the shadow of his brother Juan Manuel. He's now pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. Will he still have that ranking after this fight? Earlier tonight, Karen Bryant spoke with the champion.
Once again, we've got Felix de Jesus translating for us. Now, Rafael, Israel has said that tonight things are going to go a little bit differently, and he means in his favor. What are your thoughts?
Israel dice que las cosas van a ser un poquito diferentes esta noche y todo va a ser en favor de él. ¿Qué tú piensas de eso?
Bueno, venimos bien preparados para hacer una gran pelea y bueno, Israel puede decir varias cosas, ¿no? Pero arriba va a estar él y yo, ¿no?
Well, we've come prepared tonight. He can say whatever he wants, but they're prepared here on this end.
Okay. Now, leading up to this fight, he's talked a lot about the problems with his nose. He's saying that's the reason he wasn't able to beat you. Does that bother you at all?
¿Te molesta que él ha dicho que debido a que la nariz de él tuvo problemas en la primera pelea, eso fue lo que lo afectó y por eso no te ganó?
No me molesta. Lo importante de todo esto es que gané y bueno, que toda la gente lo vio que le gané por los golpes que le metí yo y bueno, por eso fue ganador, ¿no?
No, it doesn't bother me. Everybody saw that I hit him during that night and that I won.
Okay. Is there a sense of unfinished business, though, because there was so much talk about this being the fight of the year, and it was cut short? Tonight, we have that opportunity again for the fight of the year. Do you feel a sense of unfinished business?
¿Tú piensas que todavía no se ha terminado totalmente, ya que era programada como la pelea del año, la última pelea?
Bueno, esperemos dar en este combate lo mejor que dimos la primera vez, ¿no? La primera pelea y esperemos vender un buen espectáculo a toda la gente de aquí del Valle y bueno, esperar nada más la pelea, ¿no?
We expect to put on a show tonight and basically show that we're great fighters tonight.
Great. ¿Y su esposa, is your wife, is she still pregnant?
¿Y tu esposa todavía está embarazada?
Sí, todavía a unos días de dar luz y bueno, esperar nada más.
It's a couple of days through the birth, so they're just waiting.
All right, well, if you win, you should name him Victor. Thank you very much. Good night. Gracias y buena suerte.
Gracias.
A very relaxed Rafael Marquez, like his counterpart, with the attitude, hey, people pay good money to see good boxing. That's why these two are so fan-friendly, this matchup so enticing. Will Marquez attain his definitive victory, or will Vazquez get his sweet redemption? Rafael Marquez, considered pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world, but to keep that lofty standing, he must retain the title tonight with a conclusive rematch victory against an opponent who's as hungry as he's ever been. Yes, former champ Israel Vazquez has never been more motivated, saying, quote, when somebody takes something from you, you want it back. Well, Al, once again, we see in a lower weight class the best fighting the best.
That really is the hallmark of a lot of these lower weight classes. And you know, in the past several years, the featherweight and super featherweight divisions with stars like Manny Pacquiao, Eric Morales, and Marco Antonio Barrera were thought to be the gold standard for the lighter weight classes. But on closer examination, the bantamweight division, recently ruled by Rafael Marquez, and the super bantamweight division, featured here tonight, have been just as good.
The match between Vazquez and Marquez this March was an example of the skill and courage recently exhibited in these two weight classes. Early on, Marquez demonstrated his hand speed and his power, stunning Vazquez. But in round 3, Vazquez, normally the bigger of the two fighters, flashed his power, and it looked like he was taking over the match. Marquez, however, rallied back, ultimately breaking Vazquez's nose, causing him to stop the fight.
What's happening? It's over.
So it's on to Marquez Vazquez 2, which has all the ingredients for another compelling super bantamweight matchup. And who knows, possibly another candidate for Fight of the Year.
Well, Al, I guess you could say that was one heck of a feeling out process for 7 rounds back in March. How do you think they'll approach the rematch?
Well, with a lot of seriousness, that's for sure. I want to point out that we referenced the broken nose in that piece of Vazquez. We later found out when we got here that it was the other injuries that we've detailed already on this show. Now, as far as how they'll approach this, the fact is that Marquez, even though he won the fight, interestingly noted to us that there are some adjustments that he has to make. For Israel Vazquez, even though he pinned much of the problems on that nose issue, the fact of the matter is there are things he will have to improve on if he's to win this rematch. One of those improvements is landing more jabs, and the best way to do that is to double up with that punch. Vazquez kept his hands low, and the quick-handed Marquez took advantage with jabs and lead right hands. The hook is the punch Vazquez can land in this fight, and it is a good one. He needs to be close to land it well, as he was here in their first fight. This was Vazquez's shining moment in their first match. He would like to repeat it several times tonight. The Marquez jab was a difference maker against Vazquez. He needs to establish that again early tonight. Throwing hooks opens Marquez to counter hooks by Vazquez, especially when they're thrown on the outside. The Marquez right was very effective in their first match, sometimes after a jab and sometimes, in this case, as a lead. When Vazquez left his left hand low, Marquez used a lead right to punish him. Marquez will look for this punch a lot this evening.
Many questions and concerns regarding Israel Vazquez 10 days after the first fight. Surgery to remove cartilage and blood clots from his damaged nose. But because he quit on his stool, some are questioning the heart of a former champion who always had the reputation as a ring warrior, despite having 10% breathing capacity from his nose. Meanwhile, the highly respected Freddie Roach, replaced by Rudy Perez as Vazquez's trainer, recently said Vazquez should have had a year's rest to fully heal, and that Vazquez is beginning to slur his words. Vazquez insists he's 100%. So who's right, who's wrong, and should Vazquez be back this soon? And one last point, Vazquez wore a protective guard in training. This will be the first time he'll be fighting with the nose exposed since the first bout with Rafael Marquez. Some of the flavor and the color here at the Dodge Arena in Hidalgo, Texas, as the challenger, Israel Vazquez, not used to walking in first, awaits the champion, Rafael Marquez. Rafael Marquez is money in rematches, a perfect 4-0 with 4 knockouts. The champion in his prime and at the peak of his career. Yet he may be the least known star in boxing. 16 straight wins, 12 by KO, hasn't lost since 2000, and he is hearing it from the crowd. Long recognized as one of the hardest punchers in any division, has now matured into one of the best all-around fighters at any weight. Definitely the man at 122. Incidentally, the last few days, the normally mild-mannered Marquez has grown increasingly upset at Vazquez for blaming the first fight loss on the nose injury. Nose aside, some feel Marquez is simply better, but most agree this will be a rematch to remember. Let's size them up as we go to the tail of the tape. And the numbers, as you'll see, are pretty close. Marquez turned 32 just weeks after the first fight, 3 years older than Vazquez. the champion with the slight edge in the height and reach departments, and at yesterday's weigh-in, both men trim and ready, 1 pound under the limit. And the key unified rules for this world title fight: there's no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4 rounds, they go to the cards. If a punch causes a cut and the injured fighter can't continue, he loses by TKO. So here at the Dodge Arena in Hidalgo, Texas, getting ready for our main event, Marquez Vazquez 2 for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you and welcome to the Dodge Arena here in Hidalgo, Texas, for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions and Saquon Ringside Promotions in association with Romanza Boxing, Golden Boy Promotions, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the WBC President Jose Suleiman, Supervisor Alberto Guerra, and the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation Combative Sports Program. The Executive Director is William Kuntz. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Ivan Melendez and Dr. Benjamin Salinas. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, John Bernal and Pablo Villarreal. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring the bout from ringside. From Dallas, Texas, Ray Hawkins. From Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, Alejandro Rochin. And from Dickinson, Texas, Gail Van Hoy. And introducing to you our 3rd man in the ring, our referee in charge of the action from Mexico City, Guadalupe Garcia. All right, fans, here we go with our rematch main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Hidalgo, Texas, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, on my left, the challenger fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with white trim, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, by way of Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at a ready 121 pounds with a record of 41 wins and 4 losses. He has 31 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former WBC and IBF 122-pound world champion, currently ranked the #1 super bantamweight world contender by the WBC. Introducing Israel El Magnifico Vazquez. And his opponent across the ring, the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with black trim, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 121 pounds. His record stands at 37 wins, 3 losses, with 33 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former longtime IBF Bantamweight World Champion and the current WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Rafael Marquez. Once again, a referee in charge, Guadalupe Garcia, now to give instructions.
Are you ready to give you the instructions in the dressing room? Ya les di las instrucciones en los vestidores. I want a clean fight. Quiero una pelea limpia. This is the line where the low blows are legal. De aquí hacia arriba es el golpeo, del ombligo hacia arriba. Buena suerte y que gane el mejor. Good luck and the best for the winner. Check the gloves and go to your corner.
Two guys who epitomize what is good about boxing, highly skilled in the ring, total gentlemen outside the ring. And here we go, Rafael Marquez in the white with the black trim, power, polish, speed, accuracy, the heavy right, the stinging jab, and the sharp combinations. Vazquez in the red with the white trim, ferocious left hook, inside pressure, makes every minute count, and he is desperate for victory. So is this in effect round 8? Vazquez felt going in that Marquez, Al, who had a great first round in the original, would come right at him and make it a physical fight.
We've already seen in the first 30 seconds of this round, Marquez landed a nice right hand, Vazquez landed a nice left hook. They're back at it again.
Vazquez said he planned to attack early and often. The unknown factor, of course, is Vazquez's nose.
Now, early on in this fight, one thing to look for, and we talked about it in the keys, the jab of Vazquez. When he jabs his way in, he was very short with that punch in the last fight. It didn't help him get inside. It's working better early because it's helping him work his way right inside.
There's a straight right hand to the nose by Marquez, and Vazquez sending Marquez back with a shot. There's a good left uppercut on the inside by Vazquez.
There's good news and bad news for both fighters. Vazquez is landing his left hook very, very well early. Marquez is landing the right hand very early.
Many feel Marquez will eventually catch Vazquez and end it dramatically. Marquez did predict a knockout but did not specify the round. Right uppercut on the inside there by Marquez. A flurry by Vazquez. Back comes Marquez. Again, back and forth, two-way, non-stop sustained action. What else is new?
Great skill on the inside. There's a combination of a hook and uppercut by Marquez. Marquez's uppercut was a factor in the first fight and could be again, and there it is again for Marquez. This is great, great boxing here in round 1 by both men.
The exchanges rage on. And in a way, it is like round 8.
The hand speed edge for Marquez, though, is still there. And that's a big, big issue that Vazquez has to try and get by. He better hope, Vazquez, that he has the power to hurt Marquez again. The punch rate and accuracy here in round 1, excellent for both men.
The right temple area of Vazquez swollen and red already here in the first round. Marquez working the jab. It was a very effective weapon to set up the big right in the first fight.
Both men want to keep their hands up more. They feel like they lowered their hands, and it was a problem in the last fight. There was a couple good punches by Marquez, but again, Vazquez had his hands up, so he kind of blocked, though. Oh, good body work.
Body shots by Marquez. And a good left hook there upstairs by Marquez to finish the round.
Don't commit some errors here. Give me the headpiece. For the eyebrows. For the eyebrows. You gotta come inside on him. You understand? You are hurting him. You are hurting him. But you are hurting him. That's the way you have to do it. You have to put your head down so he won't hit you with the left hook.
Our translator, Felix de Jesus, Nacho Beristain, one of the most respected and experienced trainers in the sport. In the corner of Marquez, Rudy Perez, who, as we said, replaced Freddie Roach at a critical time heading into the rematch. The longtime trainer of Marco Antonio Barrera, now in there with Vazquez.
You know, Marquez told us before this fight he would throw more punches than he did in the last fight. He is very, very active. They both are.
So round 2 scheduled for 12 for the WBC 122-pound championship. Off to a rousing start already with some exciting exchanges.
They told Vazquez, of course, he needs to be on the inside. But, you know, it's no picnic when you're on the inside with Rafael Marquez because he's also a very skilled fighter in there.
What a difference watching this polish after the sloppy first fight. Same weight class.
The jab of Marquez, again, a little sharper than Vazquez's is so far. But, you know, for Israel Vazquez, he just needs the jab to be good enough to get him on the inside.
Here's the jab of Marquez pushing Vazquez back. Trying to keep him at bay, off balance with the jab. And every once in a while it sets up the heavy right.
See the right hand up high by Marquez, and the left hook came off it by Vazquez. Marquez needs to keep his hand up.
Body shot, left hook.
Speaking of keeping things up, the punches too.
Yeah, Marquez getting a little warning from the referee Guadalupe Garcia from Mexico City.
Good right hand by Israel Vazquez after a jab. Didn't hurt Marquez. The right hand is not Vazquez's big knockout punch. It's mostly the left hook. There are so many good punches being thrown in this fight that trying to keep track of them is tricky for the judges as well as us.
Of course, it was the left hook that dropped Marquez in round 3 of the first fight after Vazquez was hurt by a straight right by Marquez. And it was a left hook by Marquez that started the damage on Vazquez's nose near the end of the first round. There's the left hook by Marquez on cue.
You know, Marquez is throwing a lot of those left hooks. Puts him in a little danger of getting countered by Vazquez with the left hook. And it's tempting because he can throw the hook, Marquez.
Beautiful left hook there by Vazquez.
Yeah. Best punch of the fight for him so far.
That got Marquez's attention.
Followed by 3 straight jabs by Marquez.
Remember that one resounding punch towards the end of the first fight by Vazquez and Marquez was unfazed. There's another left hook upstairs by Vazquez just before the bell. A couple of good left hooks by the challenger.
You got to watch out with his left hook. Here's the end swell for the eye. Both eyes, both eyes. You have to give him velocity. Use a lot of velocity. Water, some water. Come on.
When Israel Vazquez jabs his way in, he is effective. He doubles the jab, throws the jab, and then throws the left hook. That is exactly, and there's another good jab. The Vazquez jab, much better in round 2 than it has been in any of the rounds he's fought with Marquez.
Final instructions from Nacho Baristay and Rudy Perez with a final word for Vazquez. There's a small cut on the bridge of Vazquez's nose.
The plot thickens.
Indeed. Round 3. The infighting. Dead center of the ring.
If ever 2 fighters were made for each other, these 2 are. They are in front of each other, throwing excellent punches. Both men have a smidge of a problem defensively, and so that leaves the chance that they can be hit.
Makes it more exciting for the fans, of course, but what a... he's wobbled. Marquez is wobbled.
Same kind of left hook that hurt him in the first fight.
Let's see if Vazquez jumps all over Marquez now. He has Marquez in some trouble, but look at Marquez fighting back. Unbelievable.
And Marquez showed great poise when he was knocked down the first time, but he was more hurt this time.
Yes, he was. He came back with a good 4th round of that first fight after being knocked down to the 3rd, but he really got jolted here.
Same round, too.
Exactly. He has slowed down considerably now, Marquez. Now Marquez comes back with a left hook. And a straight right and a left hook by Vazquez. Back comes a right hand by Marquez. Marquez pressed up against the ropes, not where he wants to be. A left hook to the temple by Vazquez. Marquez misses with a left hook.
Can you say Corrales Castillo? This is an amazing round of boxing. Big uppercut.
Uppercut by Vazquez. It sends Marquez back to the ropes. Marquez, though, swings away anyway. And he comes forward now. And there's There's a terrible cut around the right eye of Vazquez now. His face is bloodied on the right side. Israel Vazquez. Heads may have collided. He's got problems in both eyes now, Vazquez.
Marquez has gotten himself back into this round in a major way. Amazing.
And now Vazquez with some drama. He's got problems with the cuts. And 45 seconds left in the third round. And Marquez landing with rights and lefts, sending Vazquez back. Another series of punches, a great combination by Marquez. And this is after Marquez was in trouble. Marquez wailing away at the head of Vazquez. As the blood continues to flow from the eyes of Vazquez. Marquez winging, landing. Left hook upstairs, landing by Marquez. Everything's connecting, but look who's coming forward. It's Vazquez. Now Marquez comes forward. Back comes Vazquez with a left and a right. Non-stop. Incredible action. Unbelievable. A right hand attack, Marquez. No let-up whatsoever.
Water. Here's some water. Here's some water. Listen to what I have to say.
Israel Vazquez, just as he did in the third round of the first fight, lands a big left hook that creates all kinds of problems for Marquez. And then later in the round, Rafael Marquez, after he had been hurt, came back in this round. The action was just spectacular. Both men landing big punches. There's the right hand punctuating it by Marquez. A very close round after Marquez had been hurt early.
And you see blood underneath the right eye of Marquez. There's blood around both eyes of Vazquez. Furious action in round number 3 as we enter round 4. Joe Chavez, the veteran cut man, with his work cut out in the Vazquez corner. Vazquez marching forward, throwing in volume. What a work rate by both guys. Now Vazquez digging to the body. Back comes Marquez to the midsection.
And it was ruled apparently that the punch is what created the cut around Vazquez's eye. No ruling of a clash of heads.
Now there's swelling underneath the right eye of Marquez, and that could become a factor. Beautiful right uppercut on the inside by Vazquez on the chin.
The legs of Marquez not steady right now. Oh, what a body shot by Marquez. That hurt Vazquez. That was a great left hook to the body.
He's got Vazquez backpedaling momentarily, then a left uppercut on the inside of the chin by Vazquez.
They knew coming in they could not get hit with that left hook of Vazquez, and boy, Vazquez has found a way to land it against Marquez. It's been a big weapon. And I'll tell you one mistake Marquez is making after he lands that big right. Marquez is throwing too many left hooks of his own. He's leaving himself open because of that punch for Vazquez to land his own hook.
Both faces bloody as they trade in the center of the ring. Big right hand there by Marquez. So he's going back to his money punch.
Yep. Rafael Marquez should be throwing the jab and a straight right hand and eschewing any effort to land the left hook, because that puts him in harm's way to get the left hook landed by Vazquez.
Left hook there by Vazquez. Blood's getting in the, I believe, the left eye of Vazquez. He's blinking heavily. We approach the final minute of the 4th round. Boy, this is like one of those old-time fights.
Amazing. I mean, both men said they thought this would be better than the first one. It is. Great body work by Marquez, and there's the jab making itself known again.
One throws and the other throws. Then the other one comes back. Marquez pushing Vazquez back with a left-right combination.
You know, before the first fight, Israel Vazquez says, I'm the real super bantamweight. I've been at this weight. I'm stronger. In some ways, he's demonstrating that here tonight.
Marquez, that's right. You got to remember, he was coming up from 118 in the last fight. But you wouldn't know it.
Very close round here. Both men have gotten so much work done.
Oh, what a right hand by Marquez up top. Vazquez coming back. Back comes Marquez.
Phenomenal.
The blood really bothering the right eye of Vazquez.
We see the right, overhead right by Vazquez. He got off to a very quick start in that round. However, Marquez ripping this monstrous left hook downstairs. Look at him. Wow. I mean, that was a great body punch. And it pushed Vazquez back. I think it hurt him temporarily. And at the end of the round, Marquez had his way with a freight train right hand, followed by the jab. I mean, how many big shots can either of these fighters take? They have been blasted with big, big punches. What a great fight, not just from an excitement standpoint, from a technique standpoint.
Look at the face of the champion, Rafael Marquez. Israel Vazquez actually now looks the better of the two. Ripping, stirring action for 4 rounds as we enter the 5th, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Marquez in the white with the black trim, Vazquez in the red with the white trim. Marquez, the champion, 37-3, 33 knockouts. Vazquez, the challenger, 41-4, 31 knockouts in a scintillating rematch. Marquez winning the first fight when Vazquez had to quit on his stool with a nose injury after the 7th round of the original.
Marquez is backing himself into the ropes more than I think they would like. And giving Vazquez a chance to work the body and the head.
And remember, the rematch taking place just 5 months after the first fight.
And conditioning already an issue. We're in round 5, but when you fought at this pace and both have been hurt so much, you already start to ask yourself, who's better conditioned?
The skill level, Al, here is so high. That's what's so impressive, and that's what makes this rivalry stand out above so many other ballyhoo rivalries. As you take a look at the press row, Jason Gonzalez, Mark may have Marquez ahead, and Jason McDaniel has it even.
I've got it a draw, 38-38.
Midway through the 5th round, the pace has slowed just a tad.
Marquez is keeping his, now that cut, by the way, a big issue, and it was not caused by a clash of heads, they ruled. So that's going to be an issue for Vazquez. It's bleeding more heavily now.
It's around the right eye. It's getting into the right eye more than the cut around the left eye, and you can see he senses the urgency, so he's boring in on Marquez. But every time he does, he gets nailed.
You know, Marquez's jab has not been quite as effective in the last couple of rounds. It would be a punch that could open up that cut.
There goes Vazquez, but it's being ruled a slip. As the blood continues to streak down Vazquez's right side, he comes roaring back. They trade toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Vazquez pushing Marquez back.
Psychologically, Vazquez caught Marquez at a vulnerable moment. Marquez thought it was a knockdown and thought the guy might be hurt. Vazquez came right after.
Yeah, he sensed that maybe Marquez let down momentarily and tried to take advantage of the situation. He has slowed Marquez in his tracks here.
What a close round here, though, in round 5.
Good right hand off the top of the head of Marquez.
Marquez's right hand is so low, the hook will land again by Vazquez. Wow. Was this a knockdown or was it not? Now both eyes, by the way, cut for Vazquez.
Let me get the inswell.
Let's take a look and see if we think this could have been a knockdown. Very hard to tell when it happened in, no, it was a slip, definitely slipped. Their legs got tangled. The referee made an absolutely correct call. And And in a close fight like this, that could be a factor. We'll see again from an overhead. No, the right hand missed. They got their feet tangled. So great call by referee Guadalupe Garcia.
Here we go into round 6. That was a correct call by Guadalupe Garcia, the third man in the ring. Vazquez, despite the fact that it was called a slip, still looking a little bit on the dazed side. Oh, down goes Marquez! A left hook by Israel Vazquez sends Marquez sprawling to the canvas. Second time he's put down by Vazquez in this series.
And it's early in this round, which is a key point. Lots of time for Vazquez to get something done.
Remember, Marquez came back the last time he was knocked down in the third round of the first fight. Will it happen again? Vazquez looking to close the show. He's going in for the finish. Canvassing Marquez. Marquez almost working on instinct. Oh, a right uppercut on the inside of Vazquez. A left hook by Vazquez. Marquez holding on up against the ropes. Vazquez all over Marquez. Can he end it here in the 6th round? Relentless attack by Israel Vazquez. He's got Marquez pressed up against the ropes just above us. Back goes Marquez. Garcia steps in. The fight is over. Revenge. Redemption for Israel Vazquez. Unbelievable finish. A dazed Rafael Marquez, a celebratory, exultant Israel Vazquez. What a remarkable, dramatic finish to this fight. A tremendous fight.
Very simply put, Rafael Marquez said, I have to avoid getting hit with the left hook again like I did in the first match. He couldn't do it. This man with cuts on both eyes that could potentially end this fight at any time was able to get enough of those big left hooks in to win this man, Rafael Marquez. Some may question the stoppage. They may feel like referee Garcia should have given him a little more time. I don't know. Certainly he was still defending himself, but not a huge protest in the Marquez corner.
Both men committed to giving the fans an all-action fight. They lived up to that commitment again. Explosive, dynamic action. Did somebody say trilogy?
Boy, it was an astonishing fight. The left hook of Vazquez, which had hurt Marquez earlier in the fight, lands right on the point of the chin, sends him down. This was early in the round, remember, so that was part of the issue for Marquez. Plenty of time for Vazquez to try and get the job done. Yet another look at the, and look how low the right hand is for Marquez. And he got hit with the left hook. Vazquez was able to work his way inside where he could throw that punch very effectively. And then the end of the fight, we'll see where referee Garcia stops the action. No question, Marquez was in some trouble. Now, he slipped there, and clearly his legs were not totally underneath him at this juncture. Marquez lands a little left hook. They're battling on the inside, a bang of heads. Now, clearly Marquez, still punching back, moves backward. Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you that was a quick stoppage. I'm going to tell you that this referee should have given Rafael Marquez another 45 seconds to see what he could do, because he had just thrown a punch back. Yes, he moved back, straight back. I got to be honest. That was a quick stoppage.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear what Rafael Marquez has to say about it.
He may well have been knocked out in that round, but I believe that the opportunity should have been given to him to continue, because he was still throwing punches just 5 seconds before that.
All right, Al, let's throw it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr., for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 16 seconds in round number 6. Our referee in charge, Guadalupe Garcia, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. And once again, the WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, Israel El Magnifico Vazquez.
The crowd saluting the champion, Israel Vazquez, the former and new champion. So could we see the rare boxing trilogy between Vazquez and Marquez now down the road? Vazquez avenging his loss in the first fight. You see Marquez trying to sort it all out in his head. Vazquez silencing his critics, evens the score, and he takes the rematch.
Brilliant performance by Israel Vazquez, and almost equally brilliant by Rafael Marquez. He was so superb, but this man's power ended up winning the day.
He recaptures the WBC Super Bantamweight belt. Let's go up into the ring. And Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Let's bring Guadalupe Garcia in here first to tell us why, in fact, you stopped this fight. What led to your decision?
En español.
Go ahead, in español, sí. Go ahead.
Rafael Márquez, después de la primera caída, se levantó muy valiente. Es todo un guerrero. Demostró que es un gran peleador y estaba en malas condiciones cuando yo detuve el combate porque dejarlo seguir era peligroso para su carrera y su vida.
After the first knockout, he saw that he was in bad shape, so because of his career and everything, he decided to stop the fight. As we take a look at the end of the fight, please ask Guadalupe what was going through his mind that led him to believe there was further trouble and damage. ¿Qué estaba pasando por tu mente que tú
En ese momento yo estaba muy atento, muy concentrado, viendo que Israel Vázquez estaba dominando claramente las acciones y vi que en ese momento se desvaneció un poco Rafael Márquez y era peligroso continuar, dejar seguir la pelea.
He was very concentrated in that direct moment, and he saw that it was very dangerous to keep the fight going in regards to Marquez. Thank you very much.
En este deporte, antes que nada, primero está la vida de un peleador que los intereses creados.
First of all, in this kind of fighting, the interest of the fighter is the best thing. Thank you. Thank you, Guadalupe. Israel, congratulations to you. Muy bueno.
Gracias. Thank you very much, and all for people for supporting me.
Were you concerned that your eyes were going to cause a stoppage of the fight, much like your nose did in the first fight? ¿Tú pensaste que los ojos te iban a producir que iban a parar la pelea?
Pues en sí no podía mirar, pero nunca desistí en seguir la pelea. Y ahí tienen el resultado, gané a muy buena ley.
I won, and yes, I did. I was very concerned with my eyes, so I did win the fight. At what point did you sense that you had to end this fight because of the shape of your eyes? ¿Cuándo tú pensaste que tenía que terminar esta pelea debido a los ojos, de la condición de los ojos?
No, pues cada round salía a apretar. Lógicamente Rafa venía muy bien preparado y lo demostró, hizo muy buena oposición y por eso no pudimos terminar la pelea antes.
I came prepared every round, and we couldn't finish it earlier because he was a great fighter, but I was looking for it as soon as I knew I was hurt. Did you believe that the referee stopped the fight too soon, or did you believe that Marquez was in trouble? ¿Tú pensaste que Marquez estaba en problemas o que el referee paró la pelea muy temprano?
Sí, yo pienso que estaba en problemas. Si él no lo reconoce, es porque realmente estaba lastimado. Era cuestión de tiempo. Si no era cerrado, nada al siguiente.
He says it was just a matter of time. If it wasn't this round, it would have been the next round. He knew that he was in trouble. We've had two great fights. Will there be a third in English?
Yes.
Por favor.
I want the third fight.
You want a third fight? Okay. Congratulations to you. Rafael, come on in. Felix will help us here to translate again. Did you believe that the fight should have been stopped? Were you in physical danger and trouble? ¿Tú pensaste que debió el referee de acabar la pelea? ¿Tú estabas en problemas?
No, todavía no estaba en problemas. Yo estaba bien, estaba tirando golpes. No sé por qué la paró el referee. No entiendo por qué. Estaba tirando golpes.
I was still throwing punches. I don't know why he stopped the fight, because I was still able to fight. You were cognizant. You were not in trouble in your mind? Estaba consciente. Tú nunca estabas en problemas.
Claro, sí, estaba consciente. No estaba en problemas. Estaba tirando golpes. No sé por qué la paró el referee de esa manera.
I don't know why the referee stopped it that manner, because I was still throwing punches. Did you feel as though you could continue this fight and win, and did you recognize that his eyes were a problem and that gave you an opportunity to end this fight? ¿Tú pensabas que podía seguir en esta pelea y se veía que los ojos eran problema ya para él?
Claro que sí, ya el referee nunca lo vio, tuvo problemas el referee de no verlo y es lo que le ocasionó él que siguiera. No sé por qué nunca lo vio, el referee lo protegió, ni el doctor, nadie, ni la comisión, nadie lo vio.
He goes that he doesn't know why the commission or the referee didn't see that he was in trouble because of his eyes that were sliced up, that were hurt.
So you would like to have a third fight. We've now had 2 great fights. Would you like a third?
Quisiera una tercera pelea, ya han habido 2 grandes peleas.
Claro que sí, de hombre a hombre, habíamos dicho que yo le daba la revancha. Y claro que se la dio ahora de hombre a hombre, que me la dé para que todo este público sea satisfecho y salga de una tercera revancha, ¿no?
Man to man, we told him we were going to give him the next fight. So now, man to man, we want him to give us the third fight. He's willing to do it.
Do you acknowledge that this was a superb effort by Vazquez tonight?
Tú sabes que hoy fue un trabajo superbo de parte de Vazquez.
Claro que sí, peleó muy bien. Vazquez es un aguerrido, es un peleador muy fuerte. Pero esta vez no sé por qué me la paró el referee. Estaba bien yo. No había caído y estaba bien, estaba tirando golpes. No sé por qué me la paró.
Yes, I know he's a powerful fighter, but I don't know why he stopped the fight because I was still throwing punches.
You have not lost a fight in 7 years. Internally, is there obviously disappointment, but what is this like, having not been in this position for such a long time?
Tú tienes 7 años que no has perdido una pelea. ¿Qué sientes ahora que después que perdiste esta pelea?
Bueno, pues me siento destrozado, ¿no? Y mal satisfecho, pero va a haber una tercera pelea que el primero día la voy a ganar y que me la dé de hombre a hombre, no porque se la dimos nosotros y ahora que me la dé a él a mí.
I don't feel satisfied, of course, you know, the first loss, but we just want that fight to happen, that third fight.
Rafael, thank you. Felix, thank you. Let's go back now to Steve Albert and Al Bernstein.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. With all that has happened in the first 2 fights, the controversial endings, this one, all the ingredients of a trilogy. Let's check the scoring at the time of the stoppage. Ray Hawkins had Vazquez up 48-47. Alejandro Rochin had Vazquez up the same. Gail Van Hoy as well.
That's exactly the way I had this fight scored.
And we'll take a look at press row scoring now. Jason Gonzalez had Marquez up by 3 at the time of the stoppage. Mark May had Marquez up by 2. And the closest score was Jason McDaniel by 1.
And you can make a strong case for that Jason McDaniel score for sure, or Mark Mays for that matter.
So as I mentioned to you, there's a look at the new champion. Israel Vazquez sets up a trilogy fight down the road, and a chance for Al Bernstein here to perhaps expound at some point on the controversial stoppage.
Let's take a look at the knockdown that started the problems. The left hook had been a big issue for Marquez during the course of this fight. He kept his right hand low, and there was a left hook to the body, and then here comes the left hook to the head. The right hand continued to be low for Marquez. It was the one weapon he knew he had to stop with Vazquez. There's an old adage, you don't hook with a hooker. That is exactly what Marquez did tonight, and so he was hit with repeated left hooks, and that is ultimately what did him in. Now here is the end of the fight. Now, Marquez, of course, was in trouble. There's no question about that. He was landing punches, however. Now, he slipped on the logo at that juncture, so that was that problem. Now, he's inside. He's still throwing some punches. Now, he will go straight back, which is what made Guadalupe Garcia decide that the fight should be stopped. He kind of will skid backward on the rope, straight back. Now, he got hit with a big right hand, but he's still covering up. I am loath to criticize officials. My whole career I have been loath to criticize officials. And let me say, it is possible that Israel Vazquez would have knocked Marquez out later in that round. Having said all that, Guadalupe Garcia panicked and stopped this fight too early. That is a simple truth of what happened here. It takes nothing, however, away from Israel Vazquez's performance. Vazquez was superb in this fight.
And without question, then, you would like to see a third fight in this colossal rivalry.
It has all the ingredients. We saw in the first fight the hand speed and combinations of Marquez make a bigger difference. Of course, the nose issue came into play. In the second fight, the man who claimed all along he was the stronger super bantamweight, he won it with his power. But while he won it, he was this close to losing because of the cuts over his eyes, and we have what I think will be a controversy over the stoppage. Given all that, how could we not have a third fight?
Well, an incredibly entertaining and exciting night here in Hidalgo, Texas. What a night indeed. In our main event, the two Mexican rivals hooked up for the second time in just 5 months. This time, Israel Vazquez came up victorious to regain the WBC Super Bantamweight title. That'll do it from the Dodge Arena as we close out another edition of Showtime Championship Boxing, America's Fight Night. For Al Bernstein, Jim Gray, Karen Bryant, our entire crew, Steve Albert saying so long from Hidalgo, Texas.